Daniel Naroditsky, you dog. He just sacrificed his rook not just once, but twice. Back-to-back rook sacks of the same rook versus the GOAT Magnus Carlsen. You do not want to miss this insane game right here. It's so good. I can't even keep my composure as I'm commentating this game. All right, in the game, Daniel playing as white opens 1e4, best by test. And Magnus, how does he respond in this game? Well, he unleashes the disrespect with the move 1g6. By the way, this game took place on June 24th on the chess.com servers. All right, from here, we have d4, d6, knight c3, and then Magnus, he does not develop any of his pieces. He goes c6. He's only pushing pawns so far in this game. All right, Daniel, he's ready for a fight. It turns out almost any time black goes an early c6 in the Pirc or the modern defense, the move f4 is very, very strong, and that is what he goes for in this game, a la the Austrian Attack. All right, now, Magnus, he shows the idea. d5, pushing his d-pawn not just once, but twice to d5. The point being, if white goes e5, as he did in the game, Magnus busts out a pet idea, a pet opening idea he has, the move h5. This is the entire idea. He wants to go bishop g4, attacking the queen, and then maybe even h4, then h3 later, pushing the alpha 0 h-pawn as far as it can go. All right, Daniel, he's ready. Knight to f3, and then black bishop g4, flying down with the bishop, pinning the knight on f3 to the queen on d1. So far, so good. But of course, Daniel, he's doing just fine. He's got the massive Austrian attack pawn center. He's developing. And the move here is simply bishop d3, developing and also putting some pressure on the slightly weakened pawn on g6. Of course, when you go h5, you weaken that square a little bit, so white here still firmly in control. All right, Magnus, he goes e6, achieving the most bizarre pawn structure I've seen in a very long time, connecting all of his pawns like this via this ridiculous, what do you call it? It's not a dragon. It's like a double pyramid. Two pyramids here. One and then two like this. The double pawn light square pyramid. All right. Now, Daniel, bishop e3. Maybe intending perhaps queen to e2, then long castles, or queen d2 long castles. We'll have to wait and see. And Magnus, he makes things weirder and weirder. Knight to h6. The knight eyes the f5 square and g4. Magnus, what the heck are you doing? Don't try this at home. If you're a beginner, just don't even try to copy what the GOAT is doing right here. I mean, if you're a beginner, just don't even worry about it. Just enjoy this insane game. All right, now here, Daniel, h3 is the move, pressuring the bishop on g4. What is black going to do? Do you trade on f3? Do you go back to f5? Turns out the answer is no to both of those ideas. Instead, knight to f5, Magnus counterattacking on the loose bishop on e3 before even bothering to defend the bishop on g4. Now, we have bishop f2, retreating, then bishop takes, queen takes, and then the key idea of the entire opening, h4, Magnus here completing the idea. The h-pawn clamps down on g3. Magnus getting literally exactly what he wants out of the opening. Yes, he is a little bit worse, but overall, Magnus just loves this opening idea. Now, here, Daniel is getting a little bit flustered, and he decides it is time to trade on f5. We have bishop takes, then g takes, Magnus getting, again, a very weird pawn structure, and then long castles. Daniel, the aggressive player, he wants to attack. He wants to attack the black king side, but it turns out black actually has things firmly under control on the king side, believe it or not. There is no easy way to attack the pawn. Black's rook, it'll stay on h8. And black here is actually sort of defending. And from here, black can go b5, a5, b4, counterattacking on the queen side. And black somehow, some way is going to be okay in this game. All right, Magnus, knight d7, getting the knight off the back rank, a good idea. And now Daniel, g4, gaining space and attacking on the king side. The threat now is taking on f5, and if black recaptures, his pawn structure on the king side will be really weakened here. All right, now, we have h6, g3, capturing en passant, bishop takes, and then sure enough, b5, beginning the attack on the king side, or sorry, the queen side here, threatening b4, driving back that knight off the c3 square. in response, Daniel, king b1 is the move, then knight b6, eyeing both a4 and c4, a good move by black, and now knight to e2. Daniel retreats the knight in advance of the b4 advance. b4 is still a good move from black, but the point being, if black goes b4, the knight is already out of the attack, and from there, you may want to go, for example, knight to c1, then to b3 or d3, a very common idea in these structures. Now, black a5 is the move, gaining even more space, maybe intending a4, a3. We'll have to wait and see. And now Daniel, h4, pushing his pass pawn on the h-file. All right, now black, knight c4, jumping in, pressuring b2. We have h5 and then a4, maybe threatening a3. All right, now Daniel, knight c1. Sure enough, the knight goes back to the c1 square. That is the idea behind knight e2. And from c1, the knight does a decent job of defending a2, b3, even d3. The knight, despite being on the back rank, it actually is pretty decently placed here. All right, now black, c5. Magnus trying to open up even more lines of attack on the queen side. A good idea, and shockingly, both sides wasting less than 30 seconds so far in this game. Both sides are blitzing out their moves so far in this blitz game. All right, now here, Daniel, d takes c5, capturing on c5, black takes back, obviously, and then knight d3. The knight finally finding a good home on d3, where it does control c5, b4, b2, and many other squares. Now, black, bishop to e3, jumping in with the bishop, a controversial move, as white here could maybe go b3, attacking the knight, which defends the bishop. And from there, what would happen? Well, it turns out Daniel, he doesn't go for it. Instead, bishop to f2 is the move, attacking the bishop, but a slightly dubious idea instead. Bishop to e1 may have been a little bit stronger, bishop e1, intending bishop b4, cutting off this diagonal. Instead, bishop to f2 played in the game, offering the trade, and black here, queen to b6 is the move. Then bishop takes, then queen takes. And now here, Daniel, he could trade queens, but that is exactly what Magnus wants. Instead, Daniel, queen to g2. He slides back the queen, keeping the queens on the board and maintaining the tension. Definitely the right idea. And now white here, he is threatening queen g7, attacking the rook, attacking f7, threatening h6, h7, and so on. And how is black going to respond? Well, Magnus here, king d7. The artificial castling of the king, or something like that, connects the rooks, but black's king on d7, I mean, it's lined up with the rook, and that's gotta pose some problems here. All right, Daniel, knight b4 is the move, opening up the triple attack on that pawn on d5. This position is just begging for a sacrifice on d5. What will black do in response? Surely Magnus sees this. Well, he plays the move king to c7. And it turns out this is a massive mistake. Instead, here, rook hg8 or rook ag8 was the right idea. What is the problem with king c7? Well, if you like puzzles, pause the video right now and try to find the key idea for white right here in this position. Well, it turns out white can actually sacrifice on d5, and you don't sack the knight. Instead, you sacrifice the rook. The point being, if black takes on d5, you take back with the knight, forking the king and the queen. That is the key idea. So here, black obviously cannot take on d5. Instead, black does go rook a to g8, the right idea, but it's one move too late. Instead here, the key move for black is not very fun to play, is queen to e4, offering the queen trade. Then, for example, queen e4, queen takes, then f takes. And from here, yes, white is better, but black is still hanging on at least a little bit longer. Instead, in the game, rook a to g8 chosen by the GOAT. But this move, I mean, from here, Daniel, rook to d7, literal back-to-back rook sacks of the same rook. Rook takes d5, then rook d7, and from here, you simply have to capture on d7. If you don't, queen to b7 is going to be deadly. Therefore, king takes is the move. Then queen b7, all the same. The king goes back. Then queen c8. The king goes forward. And then finally, The knight delivers the checkmate. Knight to c6, checkmates the king on e7, and that is all she wrote for Magnus Carlsen and his king in this game. I mean, Daniel here with the back-to-back rook sack. What a crazy attacking game by Daniel. This guy always plays thrilling games versus the GOAT. All right, Chess YouTube, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, comment down below what you thought of the game. And please, if you can, smash that YouTube like button. It does help me out a ton with reaching more people with these videos. So please, if you can, smash that like button. And as always, I wish you the best of luck in your chess improvement journey in 2025 and beyond. And I'll see you in the next video.